guys, WorldNinja here. This is another self-defense clip, just a little technique for you guys to practice and train with. It's easy to do this kind of stuff slow so that you can really get a feel for how the mechanics of it work and how you're diffusing the guy's attack. This one is for a guy coming up behind you, or someone coming up behind you and grabbing you by the shoulders and pulling you backwards. This can be to take you somewhere, or to try to sit you down on the ground. Any of these things just kind of get you off your feet, or to yank you off your balance position, or to pull you back into a choke, or things of that nature happen kind of from that grab and pull type position. So that's what we're looking at, kind of learning how to diffuse here. And with the shoulder grab, the other technique that you saw, the snake, in the first video, which if you haven't watched it, go ahead and check it out also, and you'll see how you weave in between the person's attack. You're not hitting force with force, you're kind of deflecting on an angle when the guy's attack comes in. So this time the guy's not pushing towards you, he's pulling you back towards him, and your back is towards him. So what we're going to do is we're going to go with that pulling motion. So as he pulls us backwards, if you were falling off balance backwards, the first thing you would do is take a step back there anyway. So as you're being yanked backwards, you just kind of step backwards with that. Now what we do with the upper body is that we're putting that elbow up as we turn around, because I don't want to, if I'm turning this way, I don't want to get caught. As I turn around, I don't want him to punch me in the side of the face as I turn around like that. So we're feeding that elbow up to kind of deflect, and moving this hand to that side also, so that if something comes through here, I can see it and swat it. If something comes through here, I got a good chance of deflecting that too. As the elbow gets clearance, I'm putting it right over where I feel his hand is on my shoulder, and then forcing the elbow down in between his hands. And this kind of splits his attack. It's the same thing as in the snake where we weave in between the attacker's arms. We're doing the same thing, just behind ourselves. And we're feeding our elbow in so that we can loop underneath and keep walking back through that person, and you'll lay them down just by kind of walking behind them and scooping them off the ground. Their feet will come right off the ground. It doesn't take a lot of strength or anything. If done properly, then you'll just walk behind the person. They'll kind of trip over your leg and start falling, and you can either let them fall or take them down to the ground, whatever you're more accustomed to. If you're trying to get away, then just let them fall and bolt. But if you're wanting to restrain them or have a reason to do something more like that, then you have the opportunity to do that right at that moment, to go down into familiar armbar territory, side mount position, whatever you might be more familiar with. You got that opportunity also. So just consider that we're not, we're not really turning around and trying to find an elbow strike. Sometimes you will. The main goal is that as soon as the elbow gets clearance past the arm that's on that shoulder, we want to shoot it down in between the guy's arms so that we split his defense and his offense at the same time in half. And we're on the inside then of that guy's guard, so to speak. So that's the position that we're looking to be in, because we want to take, either by going double underhooks and walking him down to the ground, or as a striker, we want to take that inside position to be able to work into the body and go straight up the line. And the guy can't really get his hands back in there to stop any of that, because his hands are on the outside, and we've taken that inside position where all the targets are that we're trying to hit. So, that's the goal with that shoulder grab, is that you're splitting the guy's arms apart. You don't want to go over both arms. A lot of people will reach with that elbow and they'll clear both of the guy's arms as they spin around. That's not really, you're going to end up on the outside of the guy's back hand, and he can still attack you with his lead hand. If you play around with that a little bit, you might see what I'm talking about there. But otherwise, just know that that's not the goal. Don't try to trap both arms or anything like that. Split the guy's arms in half. Put your arms underneath for double underhooks and walk through him. Or you take that inside position and start to work your strikes. Look at what striking options you have there. You've got great body shots that you can take right there, as well as going straight up the middle for any uppercuts. You can make room on the low side by hitting down in the stomach area, and go over the top for your overhands right up the middle. They don't have to arc way out here, so you're not getting on that outside position. You can take the middle, hit in the stomach and arc over the top, so that everything still stays right on that line that you just occupied. Okay? So have fun playing with the technique. Remember to start slow, go easy if you're doing it with a partner, and as usual I'll show you how to do the movement both without a partner so that you can train by yourself, and then you'll also see examples of it done with a training partner, so that if you happen to have one, you guys can try it out. Be careful, okay? Go slow until you get a real good feel for how the mechanics of everything works, and be gentle with your training partner. Those guys, he might not be easy to replace if you hurt them. So be careful with that, all right? Everybody always use safety first and practice these for good self-defense techniques, okay? Ask any questions if you got them down in the comments field. As always, be happy to answer. Thanks again. So this technique that you're going to get a chance to see here in practice is the technique for when the guy grabs you from the shoulders and he's trying to pull you backwards, okay? How to receive that attack. The most important thing is to kind of learn how to go with it. So if you feel like you're doing this, learn how to take that first step back so that your balance is secure, you're able to follow that motion. As you feel that you're falling backwards, you shouldn't keep both feet here and do this, and then kind of the last thing you do is take the step back. As you feel your shoulders yank back, the first thing you should do is find a post behind you to support yourself on. Okay, so learn how to do that with this technique real reliably. Make sure that you're able to take those steps back without feeling like you're falling off balance to the left or the right as you do so. That's for us as humans, since our inner ear controls our equilibrium and whatnot. When you spin around like this, a lot of times we as humans, we do lose balance. As bipedal creatures, that's just something that happens to us. So you have to practice it to get used to turning around and being able to fight somebody that's right behind you immediately. So if this is a real concern for you, somebody coming up behind you is something that really does freak you out and you want to be prepared for, then definitely make sure that the first thing that you do is get used to turning around. I know that sounds real basic, but just being able to stand in the position you normally find yourself and take a step back and land in a solid stance and be able to face the person that's right there behind you is real important to that, and a lot of people just kind of overlook it. So practice that. That's the first step in this technique. Okay. The next thing that we're doing is we're feeding an elbow up. Now we don't want to reach real high with it. That will kind of sling the guy's arm away and we'll lose it as we turn around. We want to kind of sneak it. Think of sneaking your elbow over the top of the guy's arm. And you'll feel when you do this with a training partner, you'll feel that hand right there. You'll feel how your arm fits right over the top, slides right over it, and it locks down into place in between his arms and splitting his guard so that you have access to the middle to go double underhooks, or to be able to have access to the middle to throw body shots all the way up to the uppercuts, whatever you'd like from the inside position, with his arms on the outside. Okay, so from the front, if a guy's yanking you backwards, this is what it looks like. You're just taking a secure step back with him pulling you. So as you feel the pull, don't go early, don't go late. As you feel the pull, go with it, and let the elbow kind of feed back as that fall is happening. Okay, so it looks like this. Okay. Now, if I'm turning around so that you can see what happens when I turn my back, you'll see that the elbow is just kind of going down the line, and that leaves my hand in that inside position, okay, in between an attacker's arms, so that I can then shoot those hands in for double underhooks, or I can start firing off shots to the body and working my way up into the uppercuts, jaw area for those knockout shots. Okay, so this is from the back. Okay, now you'll see that line is formed, and the other hand just kind of matches it. So if this is falling backwards and feeding down in between the guy's two hands, this hand just kind of slides in that hole with as I turn around and kind of square up with it. All right, so that you're getting both hands in the inside. Just because this one made a hole for you, you just pop this one in there also, and then you're in the inside position. Okay. guy's a little bit taller, so his arms are angled down as he's grabbing your shoulders. You may need to feed the elbow up a little higher. If he's shorter than you and his arms are angled up, you feel the pressure's coming from down low. As you turn around, you'll be able to feel that on the back of your arm. So you can adjust the height of your elbow as you're turning and just kind of let it ride wherever his arm is, and it will automatically adjust to where it needs to be. Okay? So play around with that movement. All you're doing is kind of learning to tug your own shoulders backwards and start the falling motion so that you get a good chance to practice putting that leg back there to catch yourself, so that you really get used to the balance idea that's happening there. The stuff with the hands, you can see it's very simple. You're just putting them in the middle. Of the guy's arm. It's about being able to plant solidly right there, and as soon as I get in the inside position, being able to start the fight. Okay? So if I'm off balance when I do that, then I can't start the fight until I get my balance good and solid, and then I can start to effectively fight again. That's going to be the first thing that I'm worried about. If I turn around and I feel that I'm off balance, I'm going to have to correct that foot first before I feel like I can really continue to fight this guy, and that might be his chance to knock me over, to take back control of the situation. So I don't want that to happen, so I've got to make sure that I can take that step back and be balanced, land solid, be able to continue to move this way. Okay? So have fun playing with that. If you get a chance to do it with a training partner, once again, go slow. You are slinging an elbow towards someone's face. All right, so as they're pulling you backwards, you're sending that elbow towards their head, so just be careful with your training partners. Do that slow, be cautious, but have fun with it. And as always, if you got any questions, ask us in the comments.